On this video, I'm going to show you how I make anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 per deal by selling the sexiest product that sells itself. Money. Yeah, I literally sell money to entrepreneurs. Let me show you how. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ariel Morel. I'm a former bank VP for some of the largest banks in the United States. And I have helped fund over $100 million of business loans when I was working at the bank and also through my funding company. And today, I'm going to show you how to do the same. Without a license, without a degree, that you can do anywhere in the world and without having to sell to friends or family. So there are over 32 million small business owners in the United States, and most of these businesses are struggling because they cannot get access to capital. Now, they're not getting access to capital not because they have bad credit. In most cases, it's because they keep going to the same banks. But what if I told you that there are over 17,000 lending institutions in the United States that are hungry looking for clients? And the problem is that these business owners don't have the time to figure out which bank is going to lend to them. Most of these banks have a higher criteria to get you approved for funding. They want to work with a perfect business client that has that great personal credit report, yet most of the traditional businesses like retail shops and startups are left hanging. These lending institutions are hungry and they're looking for clients so much that they're willing to pay for you to bring them a client. What if you could be their connector, where now you're matching the right lender with the right customer that they're looking for, and you can get paid either from the client or you can get paid directly from the lending institution, or in some cases both. And trust me, the commissions are great. So the business model is called business loan brokering. You either partner with lenders that pay you a commission every time you bring them a client, or you build relationships at multiple banks so they can help you approve your clients, find out what their approval requirements are for those business lending products, and then you identify to see if your client meets that criteria. So the more banks you have, the more money you make, because you're able to successfully match those clients with the right lender and helping them get access to that sweet business capital. So in summary, you partner with lenders and you connect them with qualified clients. Now, not everybody's gonna get approved. And every time a deal gets funded, you get paid around 3 to 10% for every deal that successfully gets funded. So that means there's no risk for the entrepreneur to work with you because you only get paid, in most cases, only if the client gets results. And here's the best part. You don't have to use your money. You're leveraging other people's money. So who do we lend to? So these are the customers that we actually lend to. We lend to customers with excellent credit, whether they have a business or they don't have a business, we can help them. These customers, we can probably get them anywhere between $50,000 to $250,000. Number two, we love to lend to people with good credit that have a 2-year-old LLC, at least a 680 and above. Like with these customers, they can qualify for whatever they can repay back. This is probably our preferred client. And number three, we can help somebody that has bad credit as long as they have a cash flow in business for at least 3 months, meaning that they have been making money on their business consistently for 3 months or more. Now, it's safe to say that the better the credit, the cheaper the debt is going to be, and our fee is going to be. Now, it's fair to say that the better the credit score, the cheaper and the more affordable the debt is going to be for the client. And then when you have a client that has bad credit, then obviously the lender, because it's more high risk, is going to charge more money. Now, everybody else, if you can help them, partner with a credit repair company or credit restoration and just refer them away, because we cannot help these people. Let me give you a quick example so you kind of know how these things work. Let's talk about somebody with excellent credit, whether they have a business or not. So let's say you get one client and they start a brand new LLC in the last couple of weeks, and only one business owner. They have a 700 plus credit score, no utilization under 20%, nothing negative on the credit report, no bankruptcies, no collections, and they have a couple high limit personal credit cards already, right? The more diversified their credit portfolio is, the more money you're gonna be able to get them approved for. Now, because these clients are startup, there's only so many different products that you can help them get. For example, the most popular product that you probably see a lot of other companies online talking about is called 0% business credit card funding, where you help the client get access to multiple high limit credit cards. On average, they're probably gonna get 5 to 6 different cards. And once you're done with a full funding sequence for this client, they're probably gonna walk out anywhere between $50,000 to $200,000 of 0% business credit card funding. This is probably the most popular product that a lot of new business loan brokers do, or brand new entrepreneurs love to get, because in some cases they can leverage that cash and then they can capitalize on utilizing that cash to invest in real estate, buy equipment, inventory, whatever. So now this client, because they cannot do this on their own, they can go and apply, and maybe they're gonna, because they don't have the relationships and they don't know what banks to go to, they don't know in what sequence to apply for the multiple banks to get those 5 to 6 cards, they come to you, right? They come to you as a business loan broker once you know what you're doing.
So they need $100,000. You help them get the $100,000 that they wanted, and then maybe you charge a success fee on the back, and it could be anywhere between, I don't know, 3 to 10%. You negotiate that with the client, but let's say in this case you charge 8% because most funding companies are going to charge 10% or more in some cases. Now, $100,000 times 8, that's $8,000 that you just make commission on. Who pays you? You get paid directly from the client after they have access to the multiple credit products, and then boom, that you just made $8,000. Now, let's talk about client number two. Client number two is somebody with good credit with a 2-year-old LLC. So this client is the best client you can potentially get. So this client is an established business owner. They have good to excellent credit, and they're looking for line of credit for, I don't know, like $250,000. Usually $250,000 is the max amount that you can get a client. Unsecured business line of credit with most major banks and some local community banks up to $250,000. In some cases, no documentation, or in some cases, limited documentation without having to provide collateral. Okay. So because you have relationships at multiple banks and you know which banks are lending right now, because there's always a capital cycle that keeps changing, meaning that today this bank might be lending, tomorrow another bank might be lending. So in this specific case, you have the list of the banks that are lending. You have somebody at that bank that can help your client push for that approval, that they know what they're doing. Because if you have been following this page, you know that it's all about those relationships. Once you have the right relationships at the banks, that's how you make the money. So anyways, $250,000, you're able to successfully get this client approved for that $250K with no documentation or barely any documentation. There's a lot of banks that do this nationwide, some local banks, community banks. Watch any of my other videos to see how to find these banks, which I teach you that. Just again, it's on the playlist for business funding secrets and whatnot. And this client, you charge 10%. They could not have gotten approval on their own. They went to the local bank that they usually go to, got approved for $25,000. They didn't want to take that to put a lien on their business. Now they come to you, you get to that $250,000, and that client gladly pays that fee. Now, 10% doesn't really matter. Like, you decide what the fee is. However, industry standard with a lot of the funding companies, this is what they're charging. But again, that's just another way that you can make money. So now let me give you one more example. So what about that credit client? The client that has a terrible credit, okay, but they have a cash flow in business. They have a specific purpose for, they need access to capital, but they cannot find somebody to approve them. So what do? They either go get money from a loan shark on the street, or they resort into the alternative lending industry. Now, the benefit of the alternative lending industry is that you're able to get the client the capital that they need fast. However, it's going to cost the client a little bit more money. Why? Because it is super high risk for the client, because if that client has credit, that means that they have not been responsible with some responsibilities, or maybe they had, I don't know, student loans past due, or a healthcare bill, whatever, it happens. But the lenders, they don't want to lend to that person. If you were the bank that has a history of not paying their bills, you wouldn't. So the lenders that would, they're going to charge you a premium. However, the premium is not going to kill the client if you take them to the right lender. So with this specific client, you get them the $100,000 that they wanted, right? And then potentially you might make 8 to 13 points, like 8 to 13%. So on $100,000, you just made $8 to $13,000. So altogether, that's 3 different options. Let me give you one more option since you're still here watching. So let me congratulate you that you're still watching, right? So now let's say that you are trying to help somebody else get approved for an investment real estate, a commercial property without personal guarantee. You have that person that saw a video online, and now they found you because you have been promoting yourself. You have followed any of the marketing techniques that I talk about on this channel. And then boom, now you're there. They need a $750,000 commercial real estate property loan. They have 25% down payment because you help them get access to the capital with their business credit cards, and you liquidate those credit cards to help that client. So, but they still need about $500,000. They don't know where to go. So boom, you get them approved for the $500,000. So you go to one of the lenders that provide DSCR loans. And then on this deal, you can charge, 1 to 5%. The lender might pay you a point too, depending on the lender that you utilize. So let's say you charge your client 3 points. Maybe you get 2 points from the lender because it's real estate. That's 5 points. $562,000, you just made $28,000.
So look, I have had clients get approved for $250,000, millions of dollars, all the way to $10 million by leveraging the SBA program. And I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's how I make a living. And look, I also teach people how to do this so they can learn how to fund their own business. I also teach how to become business loan brokers. One of my students made $22,000 without any previous finance experience, without a license. I'm gonna put that on the screen here. I have multiple people that you can check here on this channel that have gotten countless results. Check the testimonial playlist. So if you want to learn how to do this completely for free, I have created a 5-day training that I have uploaded here on YouTube completely for free. It's literally 5 days that breaks everything down, breaks how funding works. We show you how to fund people. And if you want to keep yourself updated every month with all the new updates that we have when it comes to the banks that are working, if you want to get more resources, then you can join my community, which I'm going to link somewhere in the description. In that community, we do monthly coaching calls. We provide a whole bunch of different trainings to help you become a business loan broker or to help you fund your business. So just check it out. I'll see if that's something that you're interested in, if this video caught your attention. And then as always, I'll see you in the next video.